Hey everyone, for Friday Night Live. Thanks for logging in. We're not quite going yet, like we're a little bit early, but we'll probably already have people zoning in. So what are we talking about tonight? Just so me and you both know. We've got Friday Night Live, we've got Old Shit with Bill, where he's going to be talking about a Pepperbox. Me and you are going to talk about the new Mauser rifle.
Yep. We've got the giveaway.
We've got the giveaway.
The giveaway's up. We're going to be drawing it tonight.
Is there a technical thing we can talk about? A long range technical thing?
Yeah, probably.
Do you want me to talk about?
Well,
I'll talk about. Do you want me to talk about calibrating scope adjustments?
Yeah, why not? Yes. And what the value of it is.
Okay. And then we'll bag shit out of a caliber.
What caliber?
Your choice this week.
Or is it a secret?
So we're going to take it in turns. Trent's going to choose one caliber one week, and he's going to talk it up, and I'm going to bag it. And then the next week, I'm going to pick a caliber, and I'm going to talk it up, and he's going to try and bag it.
It's up to you guys to vote on whether it's a good caliber or a bad caliber.
Yeah, so
not that we care, but
yeah, that's it. So, but we'll get to that later. We'll get you guys voting for different calibers. But in the meantime, we're going to have Old Shit with Bill.
And this is
really old shit.
This is more old shit. And talking about old shit, a special shout out to Alan Doyle at Alexander's. He was telling me today how he's carrying half the world on his shoulders, poor bugger. And you know, I just said to him, it's only because you're getting old. So,
but old bastard. So shout out to Al from Alexander's.
Yeah.
This is almost as old as Al, then, isn't it?
This is almost as old as Al.
And he's got about as much hair as him.
Al wouldn't be watching this.
Hair. Yeah.
He still has to dial his phone.
Yeah, to try and say. No, he was telling Bill today that him and the boys watch it.
Oh, really? Well, shout out to Alan Corey and all that.
Alan Corey and Craig.
And the other fella out the back.
Logan.
Logan, yeah, Logan.
He's a hard worker, Logan.
Yeah, I never see Logan. He never comes out the front.
I don't know.
Very rarely, yeah. They got him, flogging him out the back.
Yeah.
Good.
Does he have both his ears and shit?
But I just thought I'd show you something old, and a lot of people have probably never seen one. This is a Pepperbox. It's a 6-shot revolver. Sort of predates the Colt and Smith and Wesson type revolvers that were
Just hold it still so I can focus.
were from about the 1850s, 60s onwards, and this is a GJ Deane made in England.
You can see it written on the side of the action there.
Yeah, and a little oval there with their.
Go away, Trent. You're stuffing up the focus. No one wants to look at you.
Camera loves him too much.
But you'll notice how it's this beautiful fine scroll engraving, both sides, around the shield that shields the nipples, because it's a percussion. You would load all 6 barrels with powder and shot.
So it's a muzzle loading.
It's a muzzle loading Pepperbox, yeah. Self-cocking, though. And
Like a double action revolver.
double action revolver, exactly the same idea. A little trap in the butt for the percussion caps and perhaps a couple of balls. It is a 45 caliber, so the idea of this would have been a pocket pistol or something like that, and would be used for deterring people at about 10 metres or no more. Probably a much closer, in fact.
That'd be a formidable weapon, though, over relatively short distances.
Yeah, in a room or
at a card table.
yeah, at a card table. Yeah.
So who was DJ?
G and J Deane.
G&J. Who were G&J Deane?
They were gun makers in King William Street in London, and they were in 1848. They were appointed as gun makers to Prince Albert, who I believe was Queen Victoria's husband.
The man made famous by the cock piercing.
How many piercings did he have in his old fella?
I'm not sure. But and then Deane the Deane brothers exhibited a revolving pistol in the 1851 Great Exhibition, and it was actually nickel plated or electroplated, and I guess it was nickel, but it could have been electroplated nickel silver, which was a popular coating to prevent or inhibit rust anyway.
But this one's an actual blued finish.
Yeah, this one would have been a blued finish of some kind, or brown in those days, perhaps. If you'll notice, you know.
Oh, is he gone?
He's gone.
Oh, okay. See you, Ross.
The engraving on each cylinder, each barrel, front and back. In between the cylinders is a London proof mark on in between each cylinder. The bottom of the trigger guard is engraved with a fine scroll engraving. The face of the grip cap, completely engraved. The right hand side, where the left hand side's got the address and maker's name on it, but on the right hand side it's just engraved with that fine scroll engraving. The hammer's engraved. It's a beautiful little piece.
So what do they sell for in Yankland?
Well,
Because that's probably where the biggest market for them would
biggest
be.
market would be in America. There was one sold there in America in recent times by Rock Island auctioneers. It was cased and it was in perfect condition, and it sold for $10,300 US.
Unreal.
And it had all the accessories with it, like a bullet mould and powder flask and
Oh, right.
all that rubbish, all that stuff. But
The real question is how much is Matty Lloyd going to buy?
Matty Lloyd's already commented.
has he?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Matty Lloyd won't. Oh, I don't know. Matty Lloyd might be interested in it.
But
it's an incredibly ornate,
oh yeah,
extremely well made.
and the fine checkering. God knows how many lines per inch that is. That's probably
Like 40 or something.
probably about 40 lines per inch there, or something like
36
that,
or
35 or
40.
something. Phenomenal, fine. I would say that the engraving on the checkering of the grip and all the engraving that's on this gun would have taken probably almost the same amount of time as it took to make the major parts for this thing. It would be interesting to take it apart, take the grip off and have a look inside and see what the lock works like, because it's particularly smooth. It's really
It does feel quite nice, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very nice feeling.
Yeah, very easy to use.
Too early for Matty.
Too early.
Too early, he says, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lovely little piece. Just something we came by a few years ago and we put it away in the safe and actually forgot about it until Zaine mentioned it today.
When you were looking for old shit.
When I was looking for old shit, yeah, you know. And
But even the face of the nut in the screw in the middle of the barrels has been engraved,
the whole
and
top of the screw's been engraved.
very, very well made. You know, very attention to detail and everything.
And I've looked inside the barrels, and I'd be very surprised if this has ever actually been fired, because the barrels are in perfect condition. They're stained from probably sitting in someone's drawer or under their bed or wherever for the last 150 years or so. But
Most of the finish is still there.
Yeah.
Most people can see.
yeah, so it hasn't got any rust on it. It's sort of
It's been well preserved.
been well looked after.
If you just got to keep your fucking fingers off it,
Yeah, I know.
you rub all over it with your fingers.
I'll go and
Put some oil
put
on
it back in its oily bag. I've got an oily bag that it goes in.
it. Beautiful.
So it's a lovely little piece. We'll see what else we can find for next week. But
Yeah, Reno, we'll bring this one out and shoot WA 1500 with it.
yeah,
I reckon we'll be able to compete.
we need to put a set of sights on it of some kind. And
No, that's luxuries,
it
Bill.
is luxury having sights
Yeah.
on things.
Nah, just point it and shoot it.
I think we'll put a pick rail on it.
Yeah, we'd have to put a pick rail on each barrel. That's the only
Yeah.
trouble.
No, you just turn the gun as you shoot.
Oh, go like this.
Yeah.
We've got to shoot them sideways anyway, they're pistols.
Oh, that's right.
No,
yeah.
we're not American gangster, bloody. It's not a Glock.
Not a Glock.
You're uncultured swine, yeah.
But
Cool
even
beans.
a little silver inlay here for you to put your initials on or whatever.
Beautiful.
Lovely little piece.
All right.
So,
And that was old shit with Bill. If you'd like to know more about his old shit, let us
I've
know.
got somewhere. I've got plenty of old shit, don't worry.
All right, so let's jump into Trent. Let's jump into the giveaway, eh?
You want to go to the giveaway straight away?
I reckon we do. Yeah.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, let's throw that over there. Let's say g'day to everybody first. G'day everybody. Alright. So
what's the GO?
the GO is...
Wait.
Oh, you kick it over on the tools. Alright. Gotta bring this over here because this has got all the names of everybody in there. So, over the last few weeks, we put the challenge out to you guys to get us up to 30,000 views for one episode. You guys responded and actually did it. And we said if you do that, we'd give away a rifle. We picked a rifle. We've given you, what, 3 weeks since to join up?
Yeah,
3 or 4
3 weeks.
which you guys have actually done really well. I've got a whole bunch of names in a hat here, all written out in terrible handwriting, so we'll try and read it out as good as we
Who
can.
wrote all these out?
ZZ Top.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So we've done all that. So we'd like to really thank you guys for actually getting us up to 30,000 views. That was amazing. We'd like to be out there every week, but you know, we get the
Well, the last
lives.
couple of weeks we weren't up there in views, but we were up there in engagement.
That's
So
right.
people were actually commenting and sharing and liking and all that sort of stuff.
So really happy with that. That's fantastic. You know, that's
Well, it
what
just shows there's a huge community out there.
Well, that's
of
why we-
people that are interested in this sort of stuff.
that's why we started doing the show anyway. Really,
Yeah.
it was to keep you guys entertained, put out some information about what was
And
happening.
informed, yeah. Because we
And,
started it with COVID.
Yeah, that's right. And it's sort of
Maybe let people know what's going on.
it's grown a little bit since those early days where we were getting 1,500 views. You know,
And we're
sort of-
talking about the cops a lot. We don't talk about the cops as much anymore.
we've sort of surpassed that though.
I can let you know what they're doing though.
Watching.
We can mention that. We can mention that a bit later.
So-
What they've done.
We're going to give away this A22R and 22 Magnum tonight. The guys that did everything that we asked them to do are in the hat here, ready to go. So basically, I'm going to get Zaine. I'm going to hold the hat up. Zaine, if you
okay.
can reach in, grab out a name, and I want you to read it out. Whoever's on that name wins the gun.
Cool.
Pretty simple. And if you haven't won it, get in touch with us. If not, we'll try and get in touch with you. But yeah, it's
And don't
If you're
change
an
your profile
existing,
name.
if you're an existing client of ours, then we will get in touch with you. And if you're not, don't change your profile name because then you lose.
yeah, we'll never get in touch with you and you didn't win.
And yeah, if you don't get in touch with us within a week, we'll draw it again next week. What are we doing?
Just reach in, grab one. Just one. They're all folded up. You can't really see what's on them. Well, that was silly.
Jason Bogan.
Jason Bogan, everybody. Jason Bogan.
Jason Bogan, if you're watching.
I reckon that's not his real name, and if it is,
Sorry.
suck shit.
Well done, Jace. You've won the Savage 22 Mag. Congratulations.
So
Get in touch with us and we'll organise to...
So get in touch with us either on Facebook or give us a call at the store. And yeah, this is yours. It is now your beast. Well done.
Who won that?
Jason Bogan. Never heard of him, but...
I think he's one of our clients, I think.
Oh, Bogans. Yeah, we've got heaps of Bogans clients.
Hang it.
Well done, mate. Well done. We'll edit in some fanfare and shit
Cool.
after.
Alright, what are we talking about next?
I'm trying to clean up this fucking mess.
Mauser. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about Mauser.
Oh, okay. So we've had this come in recently. Mauser is obviously a long-term brand. It's been around for a long time.
A little while.
Yeah, number of years. So this is one of their latest things. This is the M18, which I've never seen one before. But it's quite interesting in that it's like under $1,000 and it's got some incredible, like, it's just a plastic synthetic stock. I don't know why, but you can actually take the butt pad off.
I think it's like a boar snake or something in there. The pictures had a boar snake.
It's probably just to be able to store stuff while you're hunting.
I'm not sure yet. Can you take that foam thing out? No, that foam thing doesn't come out. So there's not a lot of room in there.
It isn't an awful feeling synthetic stock either. It's sort of a soft touchy kind of feel. Like it's inexpensive, but it's not.
Only on the handle there.
Yeah.
Getting the grip pads.
So incredibly smooth though, yeah? So a lot of European guns are going the same way. So the lugs are actually the same size as the bolt body. So it's what we call a fat bolt design. And what that does is it means that you don't have to broach raceways for the lugs in the action. And so you can just bore the actions out to fit the bolts. Why is that tricky going in?
Oh, they go really easy.
But it makes them really, really smooth. That's a really smooth action, but it's not loose, yeah? So like for example, Tigger, which is one of the most popular ones out there, really, really smooth bolt, but the bolt, one of the reasons they're so smooth is because the bolts are actually quite loose in the bolt raceways. These ones have got almost no movement in them, yeah? Very, very tight.
Much like a Lithgow, the new Lithgow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a big argument about this not so long ago.
Did it?
We did.
Ooh, that trigger's nice.
It is nice trigger, isn't it?
So
it's a really, the trigger is factory and
it's really crisp. It's
Like,
you'd be lucky to be 1,200 grams.
The Ruger American is also a fat bolt.
Oh yeah, but we're not in the. It's not the same league. Like
yeah,
you know,
it's the same
pick up
price.
You pick up a Ruger American though, and you pick up one of these. Like it's not the same as far as smoothness and all that sort of stuff's concerned.
Mauser or a Moister.
Moister.
It's a Moister.
Mauser.
Moister.
They've got the lug locations set up correctly though. I don't like. Plenty of people love Seikos, but there's Seiko. The lug designs are set up opposite to this one. So this one, when it locks up, it's got two at the bottom and one at the top. Seiko's the other way around. It's got two at the top and one at the bottom. And I reckon it's a really bad design because it means you can't space the bolt up between the bottom two lugs when you're feeding the rounds in, which means the action's longer on a Seiko, the actions are shorter on these because your magazine's right up, not far off where the barrel is. And also it's much more covered in than a Seiko at the top is. The action's much stiffer as well. So if you wanted to have a nice, stiff, repeatable, strong action, then this would be a really good action to build off. If you're, the problem is that there's not a lot of aftermarket stocks and stuff available for them.
No, not that I could find anyway.
So,
but just a brilliant little setup. I mean, that one there.
The action actually looks profile-wise very similar to a Remington.
Yeah, well, I put a Remington 700 pick rail on it, and it lines up perfectly as long as it's the long action. So bolt holes.
Okay, the bottom screw holes though for the magazine, like the floor plate, that one's in a different spot to where the Remington is. Not on a Remington, it's further back. So the floor plate's not the same.
Speaking of the magazine, it's a 5-round double stack.
5-round double stack.
And 3 away.
Which means you'll be able to load it through the top. Yeah, you'll be able to load it through the top. Yeah, you'll be able to drop around in there and push it down in the mag. You don't have to take the magazine out to top it up to put it back in. Yeah, so that's a good idea. I like that. I like that the magazine, you push the button in at the front and it actually pops out into your hand. I mean, it's good. I like it because it's positive and everything, but it's going to mean that some people are going to lose magazines.
Does it drop or does it just pop out a little bit? It drops, okay.
It drops.
And when it's a bit loaded up, it will.
So, I mean, but the button is below the surface, like you can't accidentally bump it.
No.
But I think there is going to be some people lose magazines.
Yeah, but I mean, it's no worse than any other sub-$1,000 rifle that's out.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, you know. So if you guys want to have a look at one of these, get into the store, have a look. We've got one here.
$985.
$985 buy price.
Like, it is magnificent deal.
3-position safety.
I like it. If I had to, like, if I'm trying to have a sook about something, I don't like that the trigger guards is part of the stock.
You don't have to try real hard to have sooks about things. Like
yeah, but that's, I mean, you got to give a fair.
That's the same as a Ruger American.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Bloody you and your Ruger Americans, Bill.
But it's.
Hi, Cubas.
You got to give a bit of a balanced review on something.
Oh yeah.
It's also probably trying to make the other Mausers look good.
Well, if it didn't have anything wrong with it, then it'd be a much more expensive rifle.
It looks looks like a Remington 700 safety catch?
Yeah, it's the price that it's the same as a Remington 700.
And to be honest, I reckon it feels a lot nicer than a regular American. Feels a lot nicer.
God, yes.
You know, maybe not stock wise, it feels very similar, but just the rest of it, I
Quite a large bolt handle by the look of it. Bolt knob.
Yeah, absolutely, quite large. So yeah.
I think there's a couple of different types of safeties you can get on them as well.
No, that's not like a Remington safety.
No?
So the Remington safety blocks the trigger movement, but this doesn't block the trigger movement, it actually pulls the sear back off the trigger. So it's a much better safety than like a Remington 700, because the Remington 700s can and do fail. Whereas this one, with the safety on, it actually draws the firing pin back off the trigger mechanism. So...
Nathan, this one's in 308.
I don't know how, but it does.
308, that one. They do them in all the standard calibers as well, so 223, 243, 308, all those.
Maybe it just blocks the sear in there. I don't know.
Currently, though, I think the supplies are out of 223, but yeah. What's twist rate?
It must
It'll probably be like 1 in 11 or something.
Yeah, I think it's probably 1 in 11.
I'd like it to be 1 in 10, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
Not that one.
So yeah, the bolt handle is positioned a little bit further forward than a lot of guns, but it's still well within reach. Yeah, like you can still flick it up with your index finger. You'd have to fully take your hand off the grip to do it. And I don't mind that, because a lot of guns nowadays with the real swept down bolt handles do rub on your finger while you're trying to shoot. Yeah, they're like right there, and you can bump them off quite easily. So I don't mind that as a feature.
They don't for me.
You got little fingers.
No, it's a completely different reason.
Because you're left-handed.
Yeah.
So.
There we go.
So, but with 3 low
Ding,
bolts,
ding, ding,
so
we
it's
have a winner.
really low slung bolt as well, so it's never going to touch on the bell, which seems to be a problem nowadays with a lot of scopes are coming out with bigger objective ocular bells, and so they rub on some bolt handles.
And you've got to lift them right up to get them out of the way.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have that problem with it. So, yeah, like there's not much bad stuff I can say about it.
If you're after just a no frills 308 or whatever caliber you want to pick,
double ejector plunger,
nice hunting rifle, then there'd be no reason why this one wouldn't be up the top of your list.
I'd be really interested to find out if we can get aftermarket stocks for them, though.
Yeah, I did have a quick look around. There didn't seem to be too many.
I think there were some laminated stocks, but they're not really
from
hunting.
like a weird company too, like Forge or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, but I'd have to look into it a little bit more.
Okay.
There are a couple of factory options for the M18, but they're all synthetic stocks.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so if you want to come in and have a look at this one, get down here before it goes.
I'm interested to see if I can make that fit in a Remington stock, though. Nah, maybe. I reckon I'll go close.
There's probably one behind you.
No, I'll have to take this apart. Do I want to do that? Do I want to take this apart?
We already know that you want to.
I want to take it apart, but do these people want to watch me take it apart?
Well, give us a thumbs up if you want to see Zaine pull it apart live tonight.
Because I'm interested to see what it's like. I want to have a look at the trigger mechanism. I want to see what this...
If I count more than 10, we'll do it. Here we go. It's up to you guys.
Thumbs up if you want me to pull it apart right now.
What is it?
1. Alright, we're not doing it.
2, 3.
It'll be metric.
4, 5,
6. Stuart, a 7. 8. 9, 10, 11. There you go, mate. You're on.
Alright, I'll pull it
Stuart, they're going for $9.85, mate. $985.
Have we got a Remington stock here?
Poof.
There's probably one
I've
behind you.
got a Remington action. I'll grab it.
Oh, there's a lot of likes coming through, buddy. There's a lot of likes. You're going to have to pull it apart twice.
I reckon he's got to do it blindfolded now.
Dirk.
Oh, look at that.
He really lost a bit.
There is no update on the Velocipoint yet, mate. I'm so sorry.
It is,
but, yeah, it should be by the time you get out of bed.
That's as gay as two dicks touching. Like, end to end. Like,
look at the likes. The likes are just like, pull that fucker apart.
Okay, so it's nothing like a Remington underneath.
Paul Coffey said, don't stop him from talking about something he doesn't actually hate.
Who said that?
Paul Coffey. Oh, that's a brilliant one.
So,
Travis, no, I'm not going to break it, you fucking muppet.
I reckon, look where the rear screw.
Yeah.
So when you pull this thing apart, you've got your trigger mechanism here on the side. But unfortunately, it's all encased inside this plastic trigger body. The trigger body is plastic. That's insane. Why would they do that?
Because it's cheap.
It's the cheapest one they've got.
It is cheap, but fuck me, is it that much more?
Well, they're built to a price point.
It's not even cheap. It's just they can produce them very, 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 very quickly. I
If they
reckon.
didn't have
Well,
the
they're built to a price point.
magazine release there, you could put a screw through there, and the Remington.
And that's what I was saying. Like,
the Remington would fit in there. It fits
that's
in
not
there.
the question that I was asking, Bill. Why would you want to put a Remington into the plastic side?
Jace.
No, we want to put the Mauser into a Remington.
Oh,
Shut
is
up,
that what it is? Jace,
Jace,
it's a Mauser M18, mate.
Yeah.
The new Mauser M18. Well, it's not new, but newish. Give me a thumbs up, Jace, if you actually heard that. So it's an M18, mate, from Mauser.
So because they've got a double stack mag, there's a much bigger hole in the bottom of the action milled out for the double stack mag. Yeah. It's also, this is in 308, but the action is quite a bit longer than a Remington.
Yeah, well, it does take the
It's
Remington
equivalent to a
long
long
action.
action Remington.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
takes the Remington long action.
Do I have a? No, I've got a Remington long action behind me, but I'm not going to take it apart. But the hole's much bigger. But that's okay because with a Remington, the hole is right behind the bottom recoil, like the bottom locking lug.
Don't lose that.
But on this, because it's got a 3-bolt design, the bolt actually locks up in the. No, it doesn't lock up in the bottom. It locks up in the walls. So that's okay.
It's still new, Jace. It's still new.
So we could probably see where that rear screw is. You can still
I'll
get
probably
the
have to
trigger
get
through.
another one though, because this is like
And then that,
completely different to the way I thought it was
and look,
going to
that
go.
front screw is not far.
I thought we
it's
were
only
going to
half a
talk
hole.
about it. Turns out now we're just pulling the thing apart.
The only problem is that what we would have to do, if we're
Sometimes
going to
just
put,
let 'em go.
I reckon I could get one of these Mausers into a Remington stock, but then we would lose our recoil lug as a result. I would have to put a Remington style recoil lug in between the barrel and the action, which isn't a bad thing. We'd have to or something. But I reckon we could do
I
that.
like these
What
mags.
sort of
Do
recoil?
you want
No,
to, like give
don't
a
they have a
close up on that,
recoil?
man?
No, it's in stock. It's like a ticker.
It's like a kind of like a P-mag sort of.
But
Yeah,
it's
look at
behind
this.
the screw, which I reckon
Are we
is pretty
focusing on the important stuff? Yeah. Double stack. It's quite a solid feeling mag, actually.
Good. A pretty little magazine release.
Oh, this trigger's actually adjustable. It's got a couple of different adjustments on it. It's got at least 2 adjustments. That one will probably be spring pressure. Yeah, so the one that's in the blade is spring pressure. The other one, I don't have.
Now we pull most rifles apart, Jake, to find out how they work. So still be the same price.
Well, now we can tell you how it works.
Well,
so
I wouldn't sell
you
this
charge
one
more.
to you for cheap anyway. Like, oh, he's pulled it apart, sell it for cheap. No, I'll just get you another one. Tight ass. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I like that. I don't mind that. I reckon. And for the price, it's actually, if I can get one of these fit in a Remington stock, this would actually be a really good action to build a gun off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So can you get these magazines in like 30-06 thrown them in there?
Don't know.
Well, why don't you know? What calibers can you get the gun in?
Actually, I think
I've fucking been through it.
I think there was a 3006
I
in the
also
list.
went through what
Here, Rob.
bloody rail it took. And
Can you get it?
haven't
Can
listened.
you get it in Magnum bolt face, like throwing them in there?
Oh, probably.
Here, I'll bloody pull it up.
You didn't go through shit.
Oh, okay. Let's have a pick on Trent. I finished talking
Yeah,
about
why would-
shit I don't like.
Why would today be any different? Every day's pick on Trent.
My name's Zaine.
Hey, washers.
Washers, dickhead.
Oh, it takes spring washers underneath.
Yeah.
Go.
And they're nuts and all them. The studs.
There's a fucking nut putting it back together.
What's the idea behind it? Is there any sort of advantage to that?
The only advantage is that,
Well, I suppose the problem with the Remington is that because the actions are so thin, there's not very much thread in them.
yeah, they probably fix them into the action with Loctite.
Okay. The M18 is available. That model is available in 223, 243, 270, 65x55, 65 PRC, 65 Creedmoor, 308, 3006, 8x57 IS, 9.3x62, 300 Win Mag, 7mm Ram Mag, and
Oh, I've got it upside down.
What a fucking loser.
and it says that they're all 5+1 magazines. So
Don't believe it.
What was
I
the,
wouldn't.
what was the last? So it doesn't do belted Magnum. They're only up to like 3006.
300, 7mm.
You just
Oh, did they say 300? Sorry, I didn't hear you say 300.
No, you weren't listening to me.
I
saying
heard
that.
you said 8x57. I thought you had been past it and you didn't say it. But
What a fucking loser.
okay, well that's cool.
So we can get them in big actions.
Yeah.
In fact,
Which
being
means you can get
being
big
German,
magazines for it.
being German, they're going to be very big because they like.
I think an 8x57 would be a good one, actually. I think that's...
There's 9.3x62 if you want, but
Nah.
you can't have that.
That didn't win a war. Oh, hang on. That did the other one.
What are you talking about? The Huns are 2 down, 2-0.
Yeah.
Surely they won
They
something.
didn't lose. They came second.
Yeah. Sorry for any Germans watching, but...
Gonna stick that magazine back in.
No.
All right. Well, I'm suitably impressed with that.
Well, that's good. That's why I did it. My whole goal in life today was to make you...
And I really do think that we could make this stick.
Well, maybe we should try and get some more expensive Mausers when they become available and see if you're even more impressed by
get
them.
an M12 or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I probably will be impressed.
If the cheapest one looks good, the more expensive one is going to be.
Yeah. But when Trent said to me, "Oh, we've got a Mauser rifle coming in," I'm like, "Well, how much does it sell for?" "Oh, under $1,000." I thought it would be like some bucket of shit made by a Zastava or something like that. You know, like
Sorry for any stuff.
made out of mild steel and bloody plastic and stuff.
Strapped together with fencing wire.
Yeah, that's it. I just thought it would be some big old
And
rickety.
some
They used
Eastern
bloody
European blocks.
original Mauser fucking bolts in it or something that were bloody, yeah.
They still make them if you want one.
Part of the wall, just keeping it together.
Yeah.
Got a bolt out of, some sort of Rio rod from when the fucking wall in
Yeah.
Berlin
Rocked up,
came
it's got
down.
Mauser written on it,
Mauser.
AR or something at the end. It's like, where? The other Mauser.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like my Barley Rolex.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Uh,
no, I'm suitably impressed by that. Alright, what was the other thing that you had to talk about?
At least the Krauts make a good sausage. Fuck you, Nathan. I actually left your name out of that drawer. No, I didn't.
What's wrong with German sausage?
I don't know. Probably nothing. Right, what are we doing? What's next?
I don't know. What are we going to talk about 6.5? Is there any other thing we've got to do? Was there one other thing that we were going to talk about?
Oh, you want to talk about long range, setting your scope up for long range
Do you want me to talk about?
Well, we're going to get into 6.5 and you're going to fucking bag it and I'm going to sit
Yeah,
there
I'm
and-
going to run off.
Oh,
and
how can you bag a 6.5?
Well, you wait.
Yeah,
Especially 55.
it is a 55.
Yeah.
6.5
That's what I picked. I
55.
picked 6.5 by 55
There's
today.
nothing wrong with the 6.5 or 55.
I
There's
actually-
plenty wrong with it, and I'll
No,
get into
there's
that. in a
I
second.
actually picked this because I thought Scoops would be watching, but the fucking prick hasn't turned it on. No, that was the only reason I went for it. Because
What a dick.
I know. I was trying to set him up.
So let's just everyone bag shit out.
Because, I didn't actually have anything good to say about it. I was just going to go, it was made in 1893, when Scoops was.
That'd be right.
And then I was like, and now it's fucked.
On Scoop's third birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Um,
But now it's you fucked it for me, Dave.
Alright, scopes. So there's a few different adjustment systems in scopes. Some of the older scopes and the cheap scopes have still got 1/4 inch at 100 yards adjustments on them, yeah? So that is a fixed measurement at a fixed distance, but all scopes adjust using an angular measurement, yeah? Because when you adjust a scope, you're actually adjusting the erector tube, which is inside the scope, which is fixed at the back, and where the adjustments are, they move it up and down, and so that's an angular measurement that it makes. So 1/4 inch at 100 yards, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of cheaper scopes and whatnot have that written on there. A lot of scopes nowadays have
Just
got 1/4 MOA.
Just for the people at home, if they've got a scope like that, what will it say on their turret?
It'll say 1/4 inch.
It'll say 1/4 inch.
1/4 and then quotation marks, which means inch.
So it won't
Say
say,
an arrow to say which way.
it won't say
If you're
0.25
lucky,
MOA or anything like
Arrow
that. It'll
with
just
a
have
U.
1/4 inch, yeah? So be warned.
Most scopes nowadays that are like that, you're on your way out?
Yeah.
Or it'll have that
Catch up.
IP.
I'm bored already.
Hey,
See you later.
So,
See ya.
but also have that IPHY
Inches per
100 yards.
100 yards. Yeah, yeah.
That'll also be on it. So
Yeah, so if you're using...
So it's not a true MOA.
Yeah. If you're using inches at 100 yards and you're using a ballistic app, you're going to be asked whether it's mils, MOA or IPHY. It's IPHY, inches per 100 yards. Yeah. So that's that adjustment. So it could be quarter of an inch. The next one is MOA. MOA is a quarter MOA at 100 yards. So, well, it's at any distance. But quarter MOA, what it means is that if you get a circle, there's 360 degrees in a circle. So you get a circle and you break it up into 1 degree. So one little piece of that circle. Yeah, you get that 1 degree and break that 1 degree up into 60 little pieces of pie. Each one of those little ones is 1 minute. So it's 1 minute of 1 degree. That's what minute of angle means. It's 1 minute of angle. Tiny little minute. What it equates out to is 1.047 inches, so not 1 inch, 1.047 inches at 100 yards. Yeah? So it's slightly more than 1 inch. But that equates to 1.145 inches at 100 metres, which is where we do most of our shooting. So,
because we live in Australia.
Yeah, so that's what that means. The last one is mils, and mils is a lot more technical term. I'll explain it, and a lot of people are going to leave, so I'm not going to explain it in big details. A mil is so 360 degrees divided by 2 pi, which is the radius of a circle, with 1 being the
Teddy reckons draw it on your whiteboard, you know.
the circumference on it. I'm not going to draw it. Fuck, people aren't
Fuck Teddy. If you don't know by now, Teddy, then you can.
360 divided by 2 pi gives you 1 radian, which is about 57 degrees. 57 degrees. Mil radian's 1/1000th of that is a mil radian, so it's a tiny little piece of pie again. And the adjustments on a mil radian scope are 1/10. Sometimes they're 1/20th, but they're usually 1/10 of a mil radian, which basically equates out to 10 millimeters. So 10 millimeters is 100 meters, yeah? Or 100 millimeters at 1,000 meters, yeah? So it's just another little tiny angular measurement. Now, the reason that I'm going through this though is because your scope might say that it's got MOA on it, or it might say it's got inches on it, or it might say that it's got mil on it. But how do you know that it's exactly right? Now, something that we've encountered before, we encounter a lot, Chinese scopes that have got MOA on it, written on the turret, but they're not, they're actually inches. And you might say, oh, it's only a small adjustment. And it is, it's a relatively small adjustment when you're shooting at 100 meters. The error is actually smaller than what your group size is, than the spread of your rounds. That's not the important part. The important part is when you're shooting at 1,000 meters and that error gets magnified, then you've got that error there. The problem is then attributing that error, like say it's in inches and it's actually in MOA, and so you're going to adjust too much, and then at 1,000 meters you go over the target. Now, why did you go over the target? Well, it could be because your scope is got written on it one set of adjustments, but it's actually in a different set of adjustments. But it could also be that the BC that you put into your ballistic calculator is too low, or too high. It could also be that your velocity is higher than what you thought it was, and so the bullets are shooting high. Could be that your atmospheric conditions you're not accounting for correctly, and so your bullet's got less drag and it shoots high. There could be any number of reasons why your bullet shoots high. What you need to do is you need to test your adjustments in your scope, especially the elevation adjustments, to make sure that they do exactly what they say they do. So if it's inches, what's really common is that a Chinese scope will have MOA written on it, and it'll actually be inches in adjustments internally, yeah? But we've actually had expensive scopes with mil written on it, but they've actually put MOA adjustments in them.
Yeah.
So you go up what you think is 10 mil and it only comes up 7 mil because it's got MOA adjustments in it.
Is that right? What do we have?
That's why you need to test for that. We haven't had it on one of our courses. Okay. I had it years ago.
Right.
So there's a lot of that sort of stuff on there. So what do you need to do? What you need to do is you need to zero your scope in perfectly. You need to adjust up a considerable amount, whatever your scope can do, and then shoot a group and then measure the distance between the two groups. and for the distance that you're shooting at, they should equate perfectly. It's really easy with, if you're shooting exactly 100 metres with a mil scope, you come up 10 mil and you should be a metre high. If it's not a metre high, you need to adjust for that in your ballistics calc, and most of them can actually account for that, so that way you don't have to do it on the fly. Yeah, because a lot of scopes you'll also find that you'll come up 10 mil, but it only comes up like, instead of a metre, it comes up 95 centimetres, yeah? So there's a 5% error. It's only a little, but there's a little 5% error in there, yeah? And again, it doesn't mean much at 100 metres, but it means a lot at 1,000 metres. And so you need to account for that error. So whatever scope that you've got out, take it out, shoot it, adjust, measure the distance between the two groups, and make sure that your turrets are doing exactly what they say they should be doing.
And we do this on the long range course.
It's part of the long range course.
So get yourself on that.
It's part of the calibration of your scope. There's other things we do as well, but that's one part of it.
Teddy reckons we had an LRP that was in mils in elevation, but MOA in windage.
No, it was in mils in elevation, but the windage dial had MOA written on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so we just swapped the turrets out.
Yeah, just need a new cap. Or new...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that on?
Yeah, he's right. It's just, yeah.
When was that?
It was a Loophole LRP. Oh, this was
When they
years
first
ago.
came out,
Yeah. So, yeah, the windage one, it was a mil scope, but they put an MOA turret on it.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be mils, but I think they just swapped it out, didn't they?
Yeah,
That's what
I can't really remember.
It was a while ago now.
I've got a feeling
Teddy obviously remembers.
it was just the
Yeah.
dial itself. It wasn't. Yeah, once you get the right cap for it.
And that's the good thing about those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I actually meant to ask today, so the VX3,
Yeah.
you know, 4.5 to 14 by 40,
Yeah.
like the popular one, the one that he's got on his rifle.
Yeah, nice little scope.
I'm not sure, but the new ones, you can actually get the zero lock turret to go on.
Like the LRP turret.
No, the zero lock, the one that's on the VX6.
Oh, the VX6.
So to actually lock when it goes back to zero, and then you can screw it up. Because I priced it up for the Greek.
Yeah, right. That's a nice little setup.
Yeah, it's like, I think it was like $295 or something.
To retrofit it.
Yeah,
right.
They have it fitted on there.
Well, that'd be a nice little setup. If
So I've got to find out if I can do it to Bills, but I know I can do it to the Greeks.
Yep.
Because I priced him up that, and I priced him up a TMO reticle, which is like $250 or something like that.
Yeah, okay. The boys over at the Loophole Custom Shop can easily
Yeah.
set it
You
up.
can do all that sort of stuff. I just thought that was interesting.
That was
So if you
interesting.
guys want an actual proper reticle that you can dial up and dial down and come back to zero and stuff with, if you've got a Loophole VX3, you can have all that stuff retrofitted.
We think.
No, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do it.
Should be able to.
Because that was on a 1-inch scope. Because I'm like, oh, it must be a 30 mil. No, you can do it on a 1-inch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I thought it would only be a 30 mil thing. But
Yeah,
no.
well, I haven't seen those type of turrets on anything other than
Yeah.
a 30
Than the
or a
new
34,
ones, yeah. But no, apparently they're putting the bigger erector adjustment systems on all those scopes so you can retrofit all that shit now.
Is that right? Well, that'd be excellent. That'd
Pretty
make
cool.
that would make a really cool little hunting scope.
I don't think you can put the LRP turret on though. The
Well,
LRP turret you can put on the Mark IV.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to do that, you just go for the LRP version of the VX3
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, that's right.
You know, they do a 4.5 to 14 and that, so you just do that.
With zero stop and
Yeah,
you got
and the target.
and you can
turret.
see it when you're behind the gun. You don't have to pick the gun up.
Yeah, and the drop down
And you've got the
skirt.
skirt that drops down.
Yeah, which is just a brilliant idea for something that's, you know, around $2,000.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good scope. Because you've got some 618s on the shelf, don't you?
I do. I've got the VX Freedoms.
I
6
wonder
to
if you
18
can
on
get
the shelf.
those retro.
But did you notice one of those VX Freedoms that came in 6 to 18? It's an AR223 with a CDS dial on it.
Oh, okay, it's CDS.
Yeah.
Aren't they both CDS?
Oh, they're both CDS, but this one's an actual AR223 with a BDC in it
Oh, reticle.
as well. Yeah,
Oh.
as well as a CDS.
What's the point?
I don't
would you-
know.
Why would you have a BDC reticle
I don't know.
and CDS turret? Like, you're either going to do one or the other.
That's right. I've got no idea, but I went, oh, that's cool.
No, it's not.
That's not.
Why? You don't need both. Like,
So-
it's either one or the other.
So we got a normal one, a normal VX Freedom 6 to 18 by 40, but it's the 30mm main tube, but it's got a 40mm objective. and it's just got the CDS on it. And then this other one came in, and it's actually set up, and it's all over it. AR 223, CDS, and VDC. I don't know.
Have we got a whiteboard marker? Is there a black whiteboard marker over there?
Don't know.
We can get up wood.
I could.
You're not going to though.
Oh, I'll have that piece of paper there, Bill. So now we're going to be talking about 6.5 by 55 and why you should buy it. Yeah, I actually wrote some notes down this time because I didn't want to be abused for, you know,
Any more than this?
yeah, any more than normal. Yeah, it's
Now, do you want to write or?
you can write. Alrighty, so big thumbs up out there for those of you that like the Swede. For those of you that don't know what it looks like,
I was only reading a little.
there it is right there.
I was only reading a little blog today. Some writer in the US, and I know the US
Writer or writer?
Writer.
WRITER.
R-I-O-T-E-R.
He said, "I'll pick the best 5 ex-military rifle,"
Can I say that? I'll be able to say that.
and the top of his list was a 6.5 by 55 Swedish Mauser M18,
We should bring the camera a bit closer.
and the third
Yeah.
rifle he picked.
I'll do the camera.
Right.
And, yeah.
We'll bring the camera a bit closer.
What
so
was,
you guys can
what was
see.
his other pick? Like Craig Jorgensen or?
No,
Oh, was that his name?
I think his second pick was the K31 Swiss rifle,
Oh, okay.
and then his third pick was the Jungmann 6.5 by 55
Jungmann?
Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 6.5. So
Drop it
he
down.
can't be wrong. He's an American.
More
No, you're right. I forgot this is
delayed.
delayed, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, 6.5 by 55. Yeah, but he's talking about the rifles themselves, and they are beautiful rifles, like the Craig, Jorgens, whatever, Jungmans or whatever.
Jungmann and
So-
But,
6.5 by 55. It's kind of like the 6.5 Creedmoor, but for men.
Manly men.
Manly men. Alright.
Okay.
So-
So we've got pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Pro. What's the first one? Pro.
Pro. Hard hitting, low recoil.
I think they're two. Good hitting power
Yeah, well, let's put it as
and low.
low recoil. So, especially for, you know, something that's going to run in a long action, it's...
Keep that though.
Well, you nearly knocked it off. So it's, you know, it hits relatively hard. Are we going to continue with a pro, or are you going to smash me with a con now?
No, you keep going.
Pro, large selection of bullets.
Large projectile selection.
Yep.
And
And you can do what you want to do with it. So if you wanted to do it for, if you want to use it for a hunting rifle, then you've got a large selection of hunting projectiles. If you wanted to take it out to the range and shoot, you know, targets, you can do that. If you wanted to shoot long range, you can also do that by picking high BC projectiles. So I think that's a really good thing. You could essentially use this as a one round for everything.
Very versatile.
Very versatile, yeah, that's probably a better word.
Yeah. I think there's two things there though. I think it's the versatility in that it's a caliber that's sort of not too big but not too small.
No.
In that it handles a lot of non-dangerous game.
Yeah, well, that's right. And for Australia, where we don't have dangerous game as a majority, you know, like unless you want to go up north and deal with crocodiles and flies and mosquitoes and shit, then most of us are gonna take out roos, goats, even pigs, stuff like that with it.
Yeah. Deer, horses,
Yep.
donkeys, cattle,
Great whites,
moose,
moose,
elephants,
I don't think we've got any moose or elephants.
giraffe,
all that stuff.
Giraffe.
Giraffe.
Nile crocodiles.
Nile crocodiles. That's pretty
Kudu.
specific.
I ate all them.
Baboon.
Bengal tiger.
Bingo, yeah. Well, what did old mate use when he knocked off those tigers in India?
Caramajo Bell, 7x57.
7x57?
Most of
Yeah.
most of the elephants he shot was with the 7x57.
7x57. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one. You can actually fit quite a few of them in a standard magazine. So you go to a bigger one, say a 300 Win Mag or something like that. You're only going to fit 3. Yeah, in most rifles.
Oh, we're talking about magazine capacity or magazine length?
Well, I was going for capacity for a hunting rifle.
Fuck's sake. You got a bit of rain?
No.
No, I'm going to write it fits in normal mag.
Oh yeah, these could be 2 different pros.
5 round
Capacity.
mag.
Which is
So you're right. You can fit 5 in a standard mag. So like a 3006 or a 308, you can 5 in a mag.
That's it.
As opposed to like 3 in a mag, you only fit 3 in a mag in the same size mag.
Yeah.
Which is important when you're shooting mobs of animals.
Yeah, and where you need those extra 2 rounds, it's disappointing when you've got to put more rounds in your mag, isn't it?
And,
yeah.
And the game is another 100 yards further.
Yeah, because they fucked off on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're chasing stuff down. If you're chasing mobs of pigs and you need the rounds in the mag, you need 5 in the mag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, your mate next to you, who's got his 10-shot 308 or his 5-round 308 or something like that, is going to be ahead of you.
Yeah.
Whereas, so if you've got a 300 mag, you're fucked. But if you've got a 6.5 by 55, you get those extra rounds of the mag.
Yeah, and there's a lot of magazines out there, aftermarket magazines, that you can put in that actually hold more as well. So
like what?
If you've got a Howie, you go to a legacy conversion, you can get 10 in there.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. So
Any others? Or is that just the one?
Shit.
Remington?
Yeah, Remington. Yeah.
Who makes a 10-shot mag
Legacy.
for 6.5?
Legacy.
Oh, fucks. Yeah, okay. So if you don't want a plastic mag, who do you go for? Does anyone else make a 270 3006 length magazine?
Wyatt. AI.
I don't.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
You just hammer the feed lips in a little bit on the 300.
Yeah, okay.
With
Why
a
do
hammer.
they do that? Should they
I
do
don't know.
it?
That's pretty shit.
They should. Like
Pretty shit.
like the 5-round mags they do for 300 mag, they should make them with lips for 3006. I don't see why they can't.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to fit 6.5 in it.
Yeah.
Because it fits in a 3006 length mag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually you got a bit of room in there.
Yeah, you got a bit of room in it. That's
Because they got big long produce.
Next one. It's been around forever, so it's stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Forever.
And then my last one, made in a multitude of manufacturers actually chamber a rifle.
Like who?
Everyone.
Like
Ruger, Remington,
Fucking Ruger.
Seiko, Ticker.
Ruger?
Ruger, yes.
In what? An American?
No, in the 77.
Bullshit.
They used to do it.
They do specialty runs every now and then. I'll bet you can't buy one right now.
No,
Oh,
it
probably
might not be able to. You could.
But they could.
Oh, but fucking you could do any
Ticker.
manufacturer would come out and say, we might make a 6.5 one day.
Even Thompson Center did one.
Yeah, but they're weird.
Barrett.
Thompson, Barrett?
Yep, Barrett did the Fieldcraft.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much every single European
Everyone-
manufacturer.
Everyone, I can imagine every European would make one.
Yeah,
Because that's what it is.
M18 Mauser.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, got
Yeah.
that.
And then,
So it's quite a popular colour. You can get a lot of different manufacturers for it.
what are those new 96s?
You want to hold that up?
Oh,
And it's the good thing. One of the good things about it, and it's standard factory rounds. They're not extremely high pressure, under 50.
No, but they have to be low pressure,
Yeah.
which is one of the cons that I've got, yeah?
Oh,
So
okay.
because it's a cartridge that's chambered in an old rifle, it has to be loaded down. So you can't get the performance out of it that you
Wow.
would expect.
after,
Not out
19,
of factory rounds.
after 1994, when they brought out the scan in 6.5 by 55 scan in Sweden, because they're using them for F-class and all that sort of stuff, they've actually given it a little bit more of a
How much though?
tweak, a little bit of a tweak, and
Yeah,
it's upped it to like 56,000 pounds or something like that.
Oh, well, that's okay. Well, then that's not too
What,
bad.
what's
So-
that? 6.5 by 55
Scan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not
The
really. That came out bloody
It might have been
25 years ago or more.
That's what he said,
Yeah,
1994.
something like that.
26
Oh, yeah.
years ago, Bill. Your memory's fading.
No,
So-
because I remember buying some
Well, then should have we been shooting it in our old 1900 Mausers? Probably not. They probably, well, they survived.
Yeah, well and truly. Well, I've seen Mauser 96 action chambered to 243, 22 to 50.
Yeah, by tight bastards that bought a gun for cheap.
Yeah.
And then, I'll turn this into something else.
I saw one bloke bought me a 96 one day that he'd blown up, and then he'd broken the bolt handle off because he couldn't get the
bolt open. Yeah.
Trying to get the bolt open.
I've watched somebody else stand on a rifle to open a bolt handle.
No, you haven't. You weren't there.
No, I've seen him.
I've seen the bloke.
No, I've seen you. You did it out at the farm.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Because that was his trick when he was shooting military rifle with a 6.5.
Yeah, because he goes he holds it like this to begin with. The bolt handle's out a little bit. He goes for the big stomp down, misses it, throws it face first down on the ground, and then stands on the backside of it.
Yeah, to get it open.
And obviously they're just going, we won't put that rifle away, eh, Bill? And he's like, I'll be right.
That's how we get guns open, isn't it? Just stand on it and
Just
push
stand
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Kick the bloody bolt open.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wouldn't do it to our rifle, but I mean, if you need yours tested.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether you could really put that down as a con.
What's that? The pressure?
Yeah.
Well, no. If they fix that issue,
Yeah.
then yes, but no. But yes. But
No, I don't reckon, because it doesn't.
All right. Well, then moving on.
Doesn't
Moving
it
on.
suck when someone does their homework on stuff and it just?
Is that
Right.
the idea? 6.5. I never realised what the difference was. It was a slightly boosted up.
Yeah, so they called it the SKAN, so scan afterwards, and I
Yeah.
think it was primarily because of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Fancy enough, and because they were using it in their target rifles, their F-class rifles, and all that, they obviously needed something to with the better projectiles and stuff that they were doing. They needed.
Yeah,
If they said it was only a mil or something in the chamber, they just lengthened the throat out or something like that, and that gave them that extra.
Well, it was an ability to load the rounds up, because I can't imagine back in 1893 that they were loaded up to 55,000 PSI.
No.
83.
45,000.
I was going to say it'd be 45,000 PSI or something like
Yeah,
that.
probably before that, but.
So but that is a con in that if you get the modern ammo and you put it in an old Swedish Mauser, there's a chance you can blow it up.
Made it.
Made it.
They were made, the old Mausers were made of really good quality,
Yeah.
so good steel and...
Yeah,
Oh, I'll write it down. Write it down. Go on.
No, I'm not going to write it.
Alright, what's your next con?
Okay, so the next one is that because it's an old cartridge, it was made to go through old guns and old manufacturing techniques. So what they did is they got the case and they put a lot of taper on the body of the case. So from the back of the cartridge to the shoulder, there's a huge amount of taper, and that's so you can get the rounds in and out of the chamber really well. The problem with that is that it makes the cases stretch. Each time you fire them, the cases stretch, they get longer, you have to keep trimming them, and they break easier, quicker, and that sort of stuff. So to get longer case life, you can actually improve your 6.5 by 55 to a 6.5 by 55 improved, but that obviously costs extra money and that sort of stuff to get that done. You do get a little bit more grunt, but you get longer case life out of them as well. But then you got to form cases that pain in the ass.
Might sound a bit silly, but
Probably if it's coming from you.
is that might be half the reason why they also did that scan? If everybody's
No, it's the
using it,
same. No, the Scandinavian chamber dimensions
Yeah.
is the same. It's just throat that varies.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So just
Right,
to give
is it?
The throat might be slightly longer, but
Yeah.
the case
No, because
body will be
the
the same.
case is fed, because the ammo I bought was a 1600 rounds of Magtech,
Yeah.
made in Brazil.
But if
And
you're,
it'll
if,
be
you're,
the
if you're loading up,
It's
each,
beautiful,
say you're
isn't
an
it?
F-class or something like that, and you're loading up and you're not checking your overall length, for your case, and it's stretched a little bit,
Yeah, it causes pressure problems, and you start blowing cases up.
is that why they might have done that as well? So it gives it a little bit more of...
But they didn't improve it. The scan cartridge hasn't got any less tape on the
It's
body.
still the same length. It's
No,
only
I'm
the
just
throat.
saying over the length of the cartridge. If it's like 2 mil too long or a mil too long,
Yeah. It causes pressure problems.
yeah, it'll still fit in the chamber though.
Yeah, and then it blows the gun up.
Oh.
Because the case actually starts to protrude into the rifling, which crimps the projectile in, your pressures go through the roof, and then you end up with a ruptured case. But because the case stretches with each firing, you're losing brass in the back of the case. Also because the shoulder's quite slopey, it's not as consistent head spacing, you end up with breaking cases off. Case life is diminished. So I hate actually improving cartridges, but the 6.5 by 55 is actually a really good candidate for actually improving.
There you go.
So there's another bad thing.
But funny you should say that about the cases, but the Swedes always reloaded their cases. I don't know how many times they reloaded them, but they reloaded them at least once because they collected their brass and their ammunition was quite often reloaded.
From a military point of view, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
You know, a military point of view, yeah, it's probably really good, especially for an auto loader. You know, because you've got unburnt powder and shit and dirt and mud and all that, so you want the cases go in and come out.
Yeah,
but from a recreational point of view, which is what we're talking about, we're talking about modern rifles, we're talking about modern cartridge. Why would someone get a 6.5 by 55?
And a civilian application.
Yeah. So it's a bad design from that perspective. The other thing is that 308, 243, 3006, 7x57, all the common cartridges all use the same head size case. They use a 12mm case head size.
No, the Americans don't use a 12mm, they use a 4.473.
Yeah, 473. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, how can I mix that? But not the Swedish Mauser. It uses a 482 head size, a 12.2 head size. So you can't just straight rebarrel a 3006 or a 270 or something like that into 6.5 by 55. You can't get a gun that was built for 3006 and turn into a 6.5 by 55 because the case won't fit in the bolt face. You've got to machine the bolt face out.
Yeah, fuck the Yanks.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a pain in the ass. Why didn't they just go with everyone else? Why didn't they make a 6.5 by 57 and just use a 57mm case?
Because this was done before 3006.
Before 7 by 57?
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
About the same time, yeah.
Yeah, about the same time. But why use, it's not even, it doesn't equate to anything in imperial or metric.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just an odd size. Why do that? Why make something that's odd like that?
But that comes from...
They should have known 120 years later, people would want to convert rifles into that cartridge.
But it comes from a country, or it comes from an area, I shouldn't say a country because it comes from a couple of different ones, where they all talk. And
You reckon they just fucked up?
Yeah, they just fucked up.
Well,
there was a rumour going around. There was a rumour going around because it was designed in part by both the Norwegians and the Swedish. That there was a rumour going around that the Swedes' guns would not take the Norwegian ammunition, even though it was the same, and that the Norwegians would take both in case they ever went to war. The Norwegians could pick up fucking ammo off the Swedes and use it to shoot them, but the Swedes couldn't fire back with captured ammunition.
I think there was something like that with the Japanese Arasaka, wasn't there?
Oh, no,
they would fire our 303 ammo, but we couldn't fire 7.7 ammo.
Yeah, they had theirs was 7.7 by something,
Yeah.
By 63 or something.
Rimless, wasn't it?
Rimless,
Yeah.
But
that'd be a smart way to do it.
That should be what we talk about next week.
The
Arasaka and the Kakano.
No one cares about that.
They're Bill's favourite topic.
No bullshit.
It's yours. You just like presidential assassinations. You're waiting for the next one.
Well, I'm not waiting. I just want to be alive for one. It's not because I want to see someone die. It's just I want to...
If they had bets on it at TAB though,
yeah,
I think right now people will be placing more bets than what they would have done for any other.
I've already got a tenner on.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Only a tenner.
Yeah, well, I don't get paid heaps.
You're not that confident.
I'm not. I was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
It's a bit rough,
so yeah, there's a lot of case stretch.
Matty Lloyd reckons he cares.
Yeah. So the other problem is 6.5 by 55 originally came out with a 1 in 8 twist barrel, which is really, really good because you can shoot big long prodigies and that sort of stuff.
Was it 1 in 8 or
1 in 200 mil?
50 mil.
Well,
200
mil.
Yeah, 1 in 8.
1 in 200 mil, which is 7.87. Yeah, 1 in 7.87 inches, yeah? So very fast twist. The problem with that is that when you shoot bullets that have got relatively thin jackets or are light, that they actually spin the jackets off. So you can have bullets blow up in midair because they're just pushed a bit too hard through the 6.5. So you've got to shoot big, heavy jacketed, long projectiles so you don't push them too hard and the bullets stay together so they get to the target, yeah? It's not always the case, but it has happened from time to time.
I don't really say that as a con, though.
Of course it's a fucking con. If you want to go out and shoot foxes with your 6.5 by 55, you can only load 140s. You just push a hole through it. Like pushing this fucking texture through your...
You get yourself... it'll just blow the fucking fox up. It'll
It
skin it for you.
fucking won't.
Yeah, it will.
I've fucking done it. It doesn't. It just pushes a pencil through them. Just boom, straight through them.
No, what you do, you load 110 grain hollow points. Jono Amos used to shoot 100 grain nozzles through his. Yeah.
And there goes the other problem, is because it was originally designed with a big, long, heavy projectile, and I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, but there was a lot of magazine space. So you could load the produce right out so they could make use of the case. And that's a really good design feature. I really like that.
Yeah.
But there is the con to that is that because it's got a long throat, you've got a huge jump on the projectile if you're using like a little 100 grain, 110 grain project. Yeah? You can't get near the rifling and still have the projectile in the case. And so what happens is that you actually lose accuracy
Huge jump.
trying to use those. Well, it takes a lot of fucking around to get the lighter projectiles to work through one of these. What else? There's not much else that I can rag on this. No. 6.5 by 55 is actually a brilliant cartridge. It's really, really good.
I think I've actually won this one. So.
Oh, I didn't know we were competing.
Well, it's always a competition with me and you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we were actually...
I win because your mum gave.
We were actually discussing this today. No, not today, last week. Whenever. That it seems like at this point in time...
That's molly coated, by the way.
We, doesn't matter...
Molly coated.
Oh, they're molly coated.
Molly coated.
Molly coated.
Doesn't matter what we're doing, one of us will always go the opposite. Sort of like the devil's advocate.
And I think it's important to have two sides to an argument.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't. Everything can't be rainbows and sunshine and all that sort of shit. Like,
so
one of the things about 6.5 by 55.
No one gives a fucking.
It's a robust case. That's one of the good things about it.
They've got a really heavy head,
Yeah.
and they've got a thicker rim than a standard like 308 case.
Yeah.
And so if you have a tight case, you can kick the bolt open with your steel toes and fucking boot it, and the case will get pulled out of the chamber.
So you base this on Zaine?
Yeah. Big head.
Big head, robust rim. I've enjoyed that one. That's good.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
You wait for the no neck jokes.
Yeah, well, I'm not waiting for. I'm sick for next week. I don't know which card.
6mm dasher next week. The one with no fucking neck.
No neck.
It's the Trent cartridge.
Thank you very much.
All right, cool.
All
Do
right.
you guys agree with us? Put it in the comments.
Lord reckons 6.5 Kakano is lovely to shoot.
Well, that's because he's only used to shooting shit.
That's it. Like, comparatively to all his other crap, it's probably brilliant. Didn't he buy a straight pull, like a Ross rifle or something
Yeah, he's
recently?
got a Ross rifle.
Oh, yuck.
I think he's got something in lapel as well, like fucking 8mm lapel.
Yeah,
that's
that's
too, yeah.
I had a packet of ammo for that. Well, you had a packet of ammo for that out there, didn't you?
What's
The old rim cartridge, 8mm rim.
Yeah, no, that's for.
Or is that for that straight pull?
56 straight pull, yeah. So,
That's the one, if it didn't lock up properly, the bolt would come out, hit you in the face.
yeah. Swiss, no, what was it?
Was it Swiss?
No.
Switzerland?
It was Mannlicher.
Oh.
Mannlicher. Yeah, it
Oh.
was probably made in Switzerland.
Funny rifle name.
Yeah.
Serious rifle.
Yeah.
Like it.
Mannlicher.
It was, yeah, the ammo had the swastika on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Austria was made. Austria.
Oh, yeah.
The other white race.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
is that us for tonight?
Yeah. So if you guys agree with us about the 6.5 or not, let us know in the comments. Certainly, if you're looking for a medium bore cartridge that's going to do a lot more, like if you're shooting in Perth and South, then 243 is probably one of the best all-round cartridges. But if you're shooting up north as well, it's really a toss-up between 2506 and 6.5 by 55 in my opinion. Now the 6.5 by 55 comes out on top in my opinion because of the projectile selection. 2506, you can't get fuck all projectiles. 6.5 by 55, you can get endless numbers of different projectiles for doing different things, as well as competition shooting and all that.
It's only going to get better too because of all the gay blokes shooting
6.5 Creedmoor. The homos with 6.5 Creedmoors are going to feed the good blokes to 6.5 by 55.
And speaking of 2506, we did have a it's that popular of a cartridge that even our young fella.
Oh, don't tease him for that.
He struggled during the week with a 2506, didn't he, mate?
Don't. He'll suck. He'll come in tomorrow. I've got to work with him tomorrow.
I don't.
And he'll come in here all teary and stuff.
Well, he comes in teary anyway because he's like, I've never had to work a full week. Do you know
Oh,
I said, no worries, neither does Zaine.
No, but that's I run by the Bill Gates idea.
The Bill Gates idea. What's this one?
If you got something really difficult,
Yeah.
you give it to a lazy person like me, because I'll work out the easiest and quickest way of doing something. So I don't.
Well, that's a great comment.
So
And do you know how you do it?
giving it to you.
You fucking pass it on.
So there's this guy, right, in this story, there was this guy, it's a true story, this guy, I sound like Trent then.
You did.
This guy in this story,
This guy.
true story.
This guy.
So his nephew was given $10 a week if he did all his chores and did them properly and didn't complain and didn't need to be reminded to do his chores.
Yeah.
One week the old man gets home and the next door neighbour's kid is putting rubbish out on the verge.
From
And he
his
says,
house.
what are you doing? He says, what are you doing? He says, oh, your boy says he'll give me $5 a week if I do his chores for him. He was outsourcing his fucking chores. But that kid would have grown up to be a really good business owner, yeah? Like, he would have outsourced all his fucking jobs to someone
a
else.
millionaire by the time he was 25.
Yeah, that's it. So there's a lot to be said for, so Bill is a very conscientious person, very hardworking. Trent's sort of halfway in the middle, and I'm a very low conscientious person. Yeah,
I'm sort of halfway in the middle.
I look at people who work really hard and I think you're a fucking sucker. I'd find an easier way to do that. Like when Dave's ammo, he had all his projectiles were on a shelf in his ammo reloading room. And the fucking shelf fell down, and all these projectiles went cunt up and went all over the floor.
That made my day when I.
Oh, it was beautiful when I heard it. And he sat there and fucking picked each one up individually and put them in block. And I said to him, I would have spent a fucking week making something so I didn't have to do that, like a tomato sorting machine. I just pour them all in one end, and they just fall out in incrementations into the fucking.
You would have just shut the door and pretended that room didn't exist.
I'd have thrown a match in there or something and just claimed it on insurance. All these produce were in there too.
Your house was just burnt down.
Yeah,
what happened?
It. Oh, drop some produce.
Not sure.
I didn't want to fucking clean that up.
So
I'm not cleaning that shit
that's
up.
bullshit. Better to the ground.
Right, come on.
Alright, we're going home.
Alright.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Jason Bogan, get in touch with us. Well done on winning the rifle. That's fucking fantastic. If you're in Perth, we'll give you a hand to get your license. If you're not,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah, cool. Catch ya.
Catch ya.